Haven't we all been angry, if we have siblings, with our biological brother or sister, but even more universally with our classmates, neighbors, co-workers, friends, family members, and people we don't even know? In this text, Jesus likens anger within our personal relationships to the damage that is caused by murder, and that anger destroys a relationship in the same way that murder does. Ouch. I wonder what Jesus' audience on the Mount would have thought when he reached this point of the sermon. He has just taught them the Beatitudes. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for justice and righteousness, for they will be filled. A hopeful word for many, I am sure. He told them that they are the light of the world, to let their light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven. Jesus tells the crowds that he has not come to abolish their laws and the law of the prophets, but to fulfill them. And then he starts to expand upon the law and give his own commentary on what it says in the law. Jesus says, "You know what you've heard about murder in the law? Well, I'm telling you that even if you're angry with your brother or sister, that you will be liable to judgment." A little out of left field, isn't it? I imagine the original hearer might have thought, whoa, where did that come from? A harsh word for them as well, I think. But maybe it wasn't so unexpected. Jesus is building to this moment where he offers his own interpretation of the ancient law, because Matthew's Jesus is the great rabbi, the great teacher. His first major act in the book of Matthew is this Sermon on the Mount, which sets the rest of his ministry into motion. So maybe it isn't so odd that Jesus would offer his take on the law at this moment. But it's still a harsh concept, because we all get angry. So what do we do with this difficult word? I would like to encourage us to think about what it means to be reconciled to our brother or sister. Jesus also states in the Beatitudes, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God." Blessed are the peacemakers. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines peacemaker as one who makes peace, especially between reconciling parties at variance. First, be reconciled to your brother or sister, and then come and offer your gift. Jesus has already told his audience that those who make peace will be called the children of God, and now he's telling them how to do it. If you realize you have an issue with your brother or sister, first go and be reconciled to them, so that you may be called a child of God. It's striking that Jesus says that the one who recognizes that there is a breach in the relationship is the one responsible for beginning the work of reconciliation, not the one who has done the harm. Jesus says to be the peacemaker so that you may be called a child of God. Last weekend I attended the Executing Grace in Georgia event here on Emory's campus, where Shane Claiborne, a Christian activist and author, discussed the damage that state-sanctioned murder does to relationship between all human beings. State-sanctioned murder causes the same type of damage in relationship that anger between people does. Shane called for work and reconciliation to heal the harms caused by crime and not by causing more harm. There is this common misconception in our culture that reconciliation means you move on from the harm, that you forget about it. But there's something much deeper going on in the work of reconciliation. It is fundamentally about repair and restoration, not about acting like something never happened. Reconciliation is the work of healing. When my father was young, he fell off of a high rock and hit his head rather forcefully. He He has a small scar on his forehead to this day, and if you ask him how he got it, he can still tell you exactly what happened. Because he hasn't forgotten, but his wound has healed. In the church at Corinth, in our reading from today, there are divisions among the people, because some are claiming to belong to Apollos and others to Paul. But Paul tells them that it is Christ to whom they belong. They are quarreling, and there is jealousy, and there is anger among them. And these divisions are not uncommon even today. We see them everywhere, in our politics, in our relationships, in our churches, and among denominations. Don't we all say, I belong to the Republican or Democratic Party? Or that we're Baptist, Methodist, Catholic, Presbyterian? And don't we all believe that we have the moral high ground? Don't we all believe that we're right? Does this not lead us to be angry with our brother or sister more often than it leads us to remember that we all belong to Christ? These are difficult times. They are divisive times. We have presidential cabinet members who do not see the value of public education or the environment, and a president who does not see the value of freedom for all, especially those fleeing dangerous circumstances. And there are people close to him who do not see the value in the diversity of the American people. So we're all on edge. We're all quarreling. We're all angry with our brothers and our sisters. But Paul is calling us to remember who we are. We are God's servants, working together. You are God's field, God's building. It is a high calling to be the people of reconciliation in a world full of anger and division. It is a difficult one, to be sure. But we are reminded that Jesus too lived in divisive times. Richard Simpson, in his work in the Feasting on the Word commentary, tells us that we are invited to contemplate the vulnerability of the child laid in the manger. A child whose family fled to Egypt in the midst of a slaughter far too common to human history. Paul points us in this epistle to the vulnerable king executed by a government that had all the paperwork in order, a government that dares to claim that all it does is done in the name of international peace. Such is the folly of the world. Far too often, such is the folly that the church merely replicates as we duke it out over what it means to be in the world and not of it, what it means to preach good news in a particular context without letting that context dictate the contours of the faith. So what will we do, church, as the people of God? Will we allow our anger with our neighbor to divide us? Will we keep offering up our gifts to God before we reconcile with our sisters? And will we stay in our comfortable camps, allowing those who we claim to belong to keep us from doing the work we're called to do, and from being the people we're called to be? Or will we go out and be the peacemakers? First, reconciling ourselves to our brother or sister, and then coming to offer